Let's see here. Ernest Holmes, in a wonderful little book called This Thing Called You, said the following. If I can find it. In this peace that holds me so gently, I find strength and protection from all fear and anxiety. It is the peace of God in which I feel the love of a holy presence. I am so conscious of this love, this protection, that every sense of fear slips away from me as mist fades in the morning light. I see good in everything. God personified in all people. Life manifest in every event. I was born. Unless there's somebody that just hurt you, or ticked you off, or some event that's like really divine manifest. Let me just tell you how my week went. I see good in everything. God personified in all people. Life manifest in every moment, every event. This is God showing up. God showing up as my good in the people that hurt me, the situations that feel uncomfortable. I still believe that. I can't always see it. And here's what I want to say. You know, a lot of times people, they beat themselves up in this teaching and in other positive New Thought types of teachings. They beat themselves up because they can't always be positive. Guess what? You're going to be mad sometimes. People are going to disappoint you sometimes. You're going to have a hard time saying that sometimes. But you say it anyway. Because it resonates. It resonates. Because if that's not true, then the oneness that we say is true, that God is in everything, which makes everything possible, is not true either. You see, you can't have one without the other. And so it's the truth. It resonates as the truth because who and how you are is perfect. Who and how you are connected to every other person is part of the divine matrix of life. We say yes to that, so we have to say yes to this. And when we can't, when we're upset, when we're sad, when we're hurt, when we feel betrayed, we do the best we can. And we put one foot in front of the other. And we don't beat ourselves up. Oh, I'm just not spiritual enough, I can't go to church today. You would not believe how many times that happens. Especially when we're called the Center for Positive Living. I mean, people used to come to me all the time. I couldn't come to church, I wasn't positive. I'm like, that's like saying you can't go to the gas station because you're out of gas. You're embarrassed. My tank got so low. I couldn't go. I just couldn't put any in it. I just felt so ashamed. Who lets their tank get that low? See how silly that is? It's the same thing. You don't come here because you're the happiest people in the world. You come here and eventually you become the happiest people in the world, but not every day. That's okay. I like that. Not every day. That's okay. Because guess what? It's still better than the alternative. It's still better than letting someone else have the reins of your life. It's still better than having the old dogma that many of us believe and grew up believing that there's something wrong with us. That when we got here, we were messed up, and God's been trying to forgive us ever since. Really? God's really kind of powerful and created a really awesome web of life. I don't think that God is looking out through the branches on the trees and the clouds in the sky, because God's bigger than me, generally, God's everywhere. So I don't believe God's like looking out at us going, oh, except those humans, wow, whew, could have done a better job on them. Just saying. So God in everything is even if it's the little stuff, like going to Staples yesterday, for the third time to pick up my computer, and I said, well, if you don't mind, I'm just going to boot it up, just to make sure. I trust you. I trust you. Let's boot it up. Let me get online and see how fast it is so I can praise you. He said, oh, yeah, go ahead. And he did it, and it popped right on. I said, wow, that's great. Okay, now, do the tabs that I do, because I always have my Christy Snow webmail, my church webmail, and my Facebook pop up, because I kind of multitask back and forth all the time. I used to have other windows too, but those three automatically come up when I hit Google. He goes, okay, no problem. So he programmed that in, and then he, see, look how, oh, how's it doing that, he says. I said, I don't know, but that's when I brought it to you to start with. 2 weeks ago. Was it 2? Maybe it was 3. It's been a while. You haven't received emails back from me. I'm working on it. The little iPad's getting tired, and my phone thumbs are getting tired. Anyway, so whether it's the little stuff, and because to go to the juice bar up there at Beetle Raw, which I didn't make it to because I was at Staples for an hour looking at his shoulder. And then he says, you're going to have to come back. And I'm like, seriously? They call me 3 times to come and pick up this. Okay, so whether it's the little things like that, that feel real big and annoying, or whether it's what I said before, and someone has really just rocked you to the core and not been who you thought they were. And it feels devastating. And so that reminds me of someone that I saw and the wisdom that he gave. His name is Jacob Barnett. He is a teenager, and he was very young. He was diagnosed with severe autism. They said he would never talk, he would never be able to take care of himself, do normal hygiene things, dress himself, things like that. And you can look him up on TED Talks and hear his talks, which are quite fabulous. You know why? Because they figured out he has an IQ higher than Einstein. The kid is brilliant. He sees the number 32 as lines and cross lines and things like that. It's like he sees the world literally in grids and different than we do. So it took him a minute to go, what are they talking about? I don't see that at all, It took him a minute to communicate and be able to. And so this ties into, when we're following a path and we're learning from someone and we all of a sudden feel like, well, that's not working for me anymore. That could be a really good thing. And here's why. Here's what he says. Stop learning and start thinking. That's why when we say, when you come to a class with us, we're not there to put information into you. We're there to pull the information out of you. It's in there because we're your spiritual authority. He says, stop learning, start thinking in your unique way about your unique passions and start creating. Instead of being a student of that field, whatever it is, be the field. Be the field. This is this kid that was supposed to never, ever be anything in the world but a burden to his family. And now he is a genius. Probably before he's 20 will receive a Nobel Peace Prize because he's working on this quantum mechanics theory thing that nobody's been able to solve, and he's about to get it. So look him up, Jacob Barnett. So the point is that, sometimes we get these things in life that just remind us. It's time to think for ourselves. It's always time to think for ourselves. And not to be discouraged, like, well, they told me this, and I was supposed to believe that, and now I'm disappointed. Whatever. Deepak Chopra says that all great changes are preceded by chaos. So if you're having any chaos in your life, woo, that's some good stuff coming. There's some good stuff coming.